Hi Noisettes, how are you doing? What kind of a week have you had this week? Let us know in the comments. Are you enjoying our videos? If so, let us know with a thumbs up or by subscribing. But remember to click on the bell icon to make sure you get notifications. We only post twice a week, so you're not going to be bombarded. Okay, so this week's reading was a really nice one, so we hope you guys all had a great week. If you missed the video, don't worry, the link should flash up on your screen now, otherwise you can find it in the video description. Let's see what the cards are for the weekend. So we have the Page of Cups reversed. We have the King of Cups reversed. And we have the Five of Pentacles also reversed. Well, that's not so bad, all from the Minor Arcana, which is good news, as it means there's no huge issues to deal with for the time being at least, but it does make me a little bit nervous that they're all reversed. It's not necessarily a bad thing, and let's face it, not everyone subscribes to reverse readings, but sometimes they can be a blessing. So, the Suit of Cups is about emotions, intuition, connections and relationships. And not only do we have two Cups cards, but we have two Court cards as well. When the reversed King of Cups card appears, this one, which is the Orca Whale, it sometimes suggests emotional turmoil. Are you feeling emotionally overwhelmed at the moment? Do you feel ready to explode at the slightest trigger? It might be others around you who are pushing your buttons. Perhaps not intentionally, but they may not appreciate what you've been through recently, and the comments might seem annoyingly flippant. When we've recently suffered something huge, like the breakdown of a relationship or friendship, or the physical loss of someone close to us, it can be hugely annoying when other people seem to take their loved ones for granted, can't it? It's hard to keep those kind of emotions in check, isn't it, in circumstances like that? And I don't know about you, but for me, it's even harder to keep the words in my mouth. But we have to remember that actually, it's not their fault. Life is such that most people do take it for granted, and so it goes on. It's up to us to rein in our emotions and try to channel negativity into something positive. Nobody wants to be around angry, moody, negative people, and if we don't try to see the lighter side of life, we'd run the risk of alienating everyone around us. So maybe this doesn't sound like your situation at all. Well, no, I don't think this is going to apply to everyone, but perhaps it's you who's being hard on yourself. Perhaps it's you who's annoying yourself. Do you blame yourself for recent events? Are you in that moment where you just want to kick yourself for your stupidity? I'm sure we've all been there at some point. I definitely have. But it's all water under the bridge now. We've moved on. We've got bigger and better things to look forward to, remember? The first thing to do is work out why you're angry with yourself and why you think you're to blame. In most cases, there's never one person at fault. It takes two to tango, as they say. Forget about what's gone. Try to bring your thoughts back to the here and now and your future plans instead. The Page of Cups reversed complements the King of Cups to some extent. The Page of Cups can indicate someone who is emotionally immature, and this could definitely be the case here, because if the major upheaval that we mentioned in our recent readings is your first major upheaval in life, then it makes sense to acknowledge the fact that you're unlikely to know how to deal with the emotions that go with it. Major events tend not to come with a nicely packaged single emotion, but with a huge suitcase of different emotions. Anger, frustration, sadness, relief, and dealing with all of these at once, or even understanding which ones we're feeling, can be a real challenge. It might help to speak to someone else about your thoughts and feelings. If you can't approach friends and family, it might be worth thinking about chatting things through with a professional. Sometimes independent people are more able to suggest ideas or viewpoints that actually we might not have considered before, and which we might find really useful. The other thing to watch out for here is impulsivity. You know, when we're not feeling our best emotionally, we can often make really strange decisions about things because we're not thinking straight or we don't feel right. They always say, don't they, that you shouldn't move house within 12 months of the loss of a loved one because it's often a knee-jerk response and we sometimes regret it later. Some people like to shop like crazy when they feel miserable, even if it means kind of spending totally beyond their means. Other people have different ways of coping with difficult times in life, but the warning here is to look before you leap, think twice before making any decisions, and keep that impulsivity in check until you're in a more emotionally stable place. For all those of you whose major upheaval was a job loss, then the Five of Pentacles, which is reversed, is actually great news for you, because it usually signifies an improvement in circumstances. This doesn't necessarily mean a new job, although it could, but it could mean that you have a friend or a relative or a mentor, someone who's happy to help you out until you get back on your feet. You might even find alternative streams of income that you hadn't even considered before. This improvement in finances might be just what you need at the moment and should certainly help to improve your self-confidence and give you a new lease of life. It may be the case that since your loss of revenue, and it might not have been a job loss of course, your change in financial circumstances could have actually resulted from the breakdown of a relationship or the loss of a loved one, but you've actually had a change in outlook on life. Maybe you've started to think more about what's really important, and you found yourself shunning materialism for maybe a more frugal lifestyle. Again, this is something that can fill you with a new sense of purpose, and it can open up new avenues for exploration. When people have a complete turnaround in belief system, we often find ourselves seeking out new people to hang out with, people with similar beliefs to us, which can then open up new friendship groups, new work opportunities, new travel opportunities, and so on. The reversed Five of Pentacles can also relate to forgiveness. So depending upon your situation, you might have to forgive yourself for being hard on yourself, or for making what you might think are stupid mistakes. Or you may have to forgive someone else, perhaps for leaving you, for firing you, for the recent events in your life that have caused some kind of unhappiness. Whatever your situation, the Five of Pentacles, even in its reverse state, is a great card, and it gives us hope and optimism for the immediate future. So, it's a bit of a mixed bag again this week, but it's not all bad. We can see that we're still coming through the difficult times that we've experienced of late, and like all major change, it's not going to happen overnight. But these cards explain to some extent how and why we're feeling the way we are, and what there is to look forward to. We still believe we're on the right track, and things can only continue to improve. So, have a really great weekend. Find time to relax, chill, hang out with your friends, and we'll be back here again on Monday for another reading.